I don't feel comfortable saying anything witty about this one because I am very pale.
And I'm the Asian.
Hit us with it, Jarvis.
Yeah. So, welcome back to Full Time Movie Fans. I gotta just say, you see this here. It's a 20-ounce Red Bull kind of day for me.
This is not product placement, unless you want it to be. What kind of day am I having? That's a loaded question. I've had such a weird couple of weeks of like thing after thing after thing happening. Yeah. I went out and got a scratch off ticket just to see if it would like improve my luck, and I was one little like scratch away from $250,000.
That's always worse.
I got nothing.
That's always worse than if you're like really far away from here. Like, I never had a chance. But like,
right, yeah.
When you're
but it's like
way,
right there.
You're just like,
yeah. And I knew the whole time too. I was like, yep, there's 3, and I need 1 more, and it's not gonna happen.
There it is.
But maybe, but it didn't.
Yeah. So the Asian thing is very relevant to the movie we're talking about today.
Very. Crazy Rich. I am not.
Crazy Rich, yeah, and that connects to you almost being crazy rich.
I'm spontaneously broke.
Yeah, same. I'm extremely broke, Asian. Never been anything but that, I think.
Jarvis, we missed the opportunity to have the double feature of a lifetime.
Oh,
we should have done Crazy Rich Asians and then Parasite.
Oh yeah,
that would have been a great double feature.
Well, we could do that next week.
That's true. We could
always do. Yeah, because Parasite is really good.
Very good.
Really, really good. I know you have a lot to say about that one. I do,
because I was mad that it won Best Picture against La La Land.
Yeah.
And then one of my other high film friends, because I hadn't watched it at that time. And one of my other film friends was like, "No, dude, I promise you, absolutely deserved." And then I watched it, and I was like, "Okay, it's really good."
Yeah.
I love that movie.
So Crazy Rich Asians, I think with this movie, I can relate more to a lot of the things because I'm
culturally,
because I'm Asian.
Yeah.
But I think we're both on the same level as not relating to their lifestyle at all.
No,
with how crazy rich they are.
Not even close.
On that,
it's also a romance movie.
Yes,
which is stereotypically for women. If we want to talk about the
back in the day,
marketing quadrants.
Back in my day, we call them chick flicks.
That's correct. That's and that's like not a ironic thing either. They do that on purpose.
Yeah, romantic. I guess this is a romantic drama. I would say more like a drama, not a comedy. I mean, there's some laughs, but I mean, I wouldn't call it a comedy. You know what I mean?
It's not 500 Days of Summer.
It's not Game Night, where the whole thing is meant to just be funny and make you laugh.
My favorite romantic comedy, Game Night.
Oh man, so romantic and so comedy. Love it. So, I mean, I guess do you want to get us started with what is Crazy Rich Asians about? And I will say this movie was very culturally important.
I would say
more so than the Emoji Movie.
Probably, yeah.
But in the sense that I think this was one of the first times that Asians and Asian Americans really felt represented. I mean, you talk about Ki Kwan. He mentioned Crazy Rich Asians. He was like, when it came out, he mentioned, they're putting us in movies now. And so he's like, maybe there's a chance for me. And that's how he got back into acting. He told his what do they call them? Managers, or I don't know if they're managers. What do they call them these days? Agents, yeah.
Of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That he wanted to get back into acting, and
yeah.
And then he got the call from the Daniels for our favorite movie that we've done so far, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Absolutely.
Academy Award winning.
Multi-Academy
Award winning. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I'm hearing more and more hate it, which is hilarious to me because
that's not hilarious to me. That's infuriating because it's one of the best.
Well, once you hit the Oscars, it's no longer like a small indie film that was really good. It's a prestigious studio movie.
Michelle Yeoh, Ki Kwan, a bunch of other Asians that we all love and know.
Yeah.
Stephanie Chu, or is that
Stephanie Chu? I think you're correct.
And then also
and this is a John Chu movie.
Grandpa
directed it.
The grandpa has been in so many freaking movies. Have you looked at his movie credits?
No, I haven't, but I'm sure it's pretty crazy.
So this was culturally important. I mean, I think we talked about it in one of our other movies reviews that like Asian. We were talking about it at Paprika. Mm-hmm. How Asian and foreign movies are just. I feel like it's more recent within the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
That foreign movies have been getting attention. And this one was important because this was like, I mean, almost everybody's Asian in the movie, I think. Are there regular white people or is it all just Asians? I don't know.
There might be background extras.
Yeah, so
but I think you're correct. I'm pretty sure the whole movie is just a bunch of
Asian people.
Yeah.
So kind of.
Oh, wait, no, there's a few.
Kind of a big deal.
There's a few white guys, old white guys.
I mean, I'll say this. I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, this is so big for Asians, like personally, but I understand that it was. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I didn't. Once the movie came out, I wasn't like, oh man, we're finally getting our due. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it came out in 2018, which is
I guess like
you
know what I think that is. It's because down here, I get mistaken for Mexican, so
that's very funny. But I can understand it.
Yeah,
I can really understand it. So you want to. What do you want? Do you want to talk about if you want to, like, let people know that you like it, or do you want? What do you? I mean,
yeah, you know what? Sure. Like, this is definitely a movie. It's so good. It's really good. It is. It's a fun, enjoyable movie. It deals with some really deep and I would say some pretty strong cultural things. But it's like when you watch a movie that's mainly about a different ethnicity. It's always crazy to realize that it's really not that different from everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the more different a culture is, the more you feel like, oh wow, they're the same as me. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, I think this does a really good job at highlighting the cultural differences with not just like Asian families, but like the cultural elite. Yeah. And so there's a two-parter we
hierarchy.
Get there.
Yeah, there's hierarchies within even in the movies from some rich people to even richer.
I don't care if your father owns $1 billion corporation. We own a $3 billion corporation.
Yeah,
it's like so you're not that rich.
Yeah, because the wedding is at the core of like the background of where things are happening, and this wedding is insane.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, I remember just the moment where they just like flood the aisle with enough water, and there's like floating petals and
everybody's got like their little light up whatever is
lantern, or something like that, and it's pretty. Just like this is actually insane. Like I cannot comprehend this level of wealth.
Yeah.
So, but it's a good movie. I really enjoyed watching it again. I think I would assume you guys enjoyed watching it again.
Yeah. It's a good movie. Was that your segue to me? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so let's talk about what actually happens in the movie.
So yeah, I've been told I need to have my hotter takes aired out on here. So like, the movie was dog shit. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't. It was.
That's super hot. That's spicy.
I like this movie a lot. I don't think it did a lot for like for the genre itself. And like, it's a very mid romantic movie. It has a lot of like stereotypical. The dude will give whatever he needs to make sure he's with the girl.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Like love triumphs over everything, regardless. But there's also a lot of like, I've been talking about this with Sybil a lot more recently. Is that in like the newer age of movies, it's like we used to have a lot of movies that where here's a character who needs to learn a moral lesson and change the way that they are. And here's that moral lesson. It's like an Aesop's fable kind of epic hero's journey.
Yeah.
And more recently, I feel like we've been getting a lot more of the character's growth is taking not a back seat, but it's like the B story to the A story, which is the looking how this person lives their life and how they experience the world around them and how they form their own opinions and why they act the way they do, rather than just like, this is the character and why they do this.
Yeah, the stories are becoming a little more surface level instead of like, hey, let's focus on the deeper roots of like what's causing this character growth or change or character flaws, and focusing on those types of things.
I think
Yeah?
it's I think no I think
Oh,
you're
wrong,
misunderstanding. I think you're misunderstanding. I think that it's more so
It's gonna
that
happen.
I think it's more so that like instead of just going on this journey of like seeing how the character grows, so that you can place yourself in their shoes
Yeah.
and grow with them, you can also do that while understanding why that person is the way they are. So it's a less like making it about yourself and more
Yeah.
of putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, seeing the world through somebody else's eyes, while also growing with them. Because I mean, let's be real. There's a lot of movies that you've probably seen where you're like, we were just talking about where you're like, yeah, there's nothing here for me, and I'd agree with you that it's a kids movie. There's not really much there for other people, but that's where this newer take on movies, I think, is coming in, where it's like, I'm not an Asian woman. I'm not even like an affluent person. There's no reason I should be able to understand what's going on with Rachel or this like insane situation that she's being put into. But I do. I get to be a part of that, and I get to see how she is as a person and why she is as a person, and put myself in her shoes so that I can, if I don't even,
I don't think you'd fit in her shoes. They're probably a lot smaller than your feet are.
I can't comment on that.
I'm just saying. It most likely, if I had to bet money, I would bet money.
You know what? I would also bet money on that as well. Yeah,
not a lot because we don't have a lot of money to bet on stuff.
We're not talking like a $10,000 bet. We're talking
more.
like 35 cents.
Yeah, I was gonna
maybe
say
$1.
I was gonna say fancy to me is like having your burger served on a plate and not in a bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's fancy to me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say something as well about the just romantic tropes, and like I look, it's a movie, it's fiction, but I do think that there is something about like these types of movies. Oh man, I might get some flack for this. I don't think that I don't think it promotes realistic expectations from women to men in real life dating situations. For the fact that this guy his family is richer than we can imagine, and he's just
crazy
like,
rich, some would say.
Yeah, he's like, oh, my mom, yeah, I'll leave. I won't talk to her anymore, and forget all the money that I have, and I can do basically whatever I want.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna come back with you to America and be poor with you because I love you. I think everybody wants to feel special in that kind of way, but
yeah.
I don't think that's very realistic.
I'll argue a little bit back on that one with you.
I will say that I feel like, oh man, maybe this needs to be updated. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna put it out there. Is that like these types of hyper idealized situations in chick flicks it's kind of like female
You're gonna say the
corn?
female gaze? The female gaze? what we call it now.
Well, corn is the word that I use for that, because so for women it appeals to, it gives them a fantasy expectation that's not realistic that they see, and then that kind of affects them emotionally and mentally.
Oh brother, if you think this is what women are reading to get off, you should look up Sarah J. Maas.
I will not. I will not. But what I'm saying is like,
this is mild. Mild in comparison.
But that's what I'm saying is like this. But this plays into that in the same way. Like for men, it's like the visual thing. I think it does kind of create these like unrealistic. Like we want it to be that way, but it's just not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But anyways, that's my little...
Do you think it's unreasonable for a guy who hasn't had to work for things to just give up things that he never had to work for somebody else?
I mean, I think that we would like that to happen.
I agree that we would like for that to happen.
We would like for that to be
I also
realistic.
I also agree with you that it's unreasonable.
Yeah.
But for somebody who's not thinking rationally and is like, I can only find this one girl that I love so much in my entire lifetime, like money is an object.
Yeah,
obviously.
I will say this. From what I've experienced with people who just have a lot of options, they're not as like worried about those types of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like somebody, a guy or girl who gets a lot of attention, they're not really as flattered by a compliment from a stranger as someone who isn't. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I guess in his situation, he found someone who, like, he's chosen. So it means more because he could have anybody. Pretty much.
Yeah. So. That's what they say throughout like the entire movie. Yeah. It's like, why this one girl, she doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like, but she does to me.
Yeah,
which nice. I think is sweet. I think that there's something reasonable there.
Yeah.
But I also agree that like dropping your entire livelihood and wealth and whatever just to be like, I'm going to be with this girl. I think there's more reasonable ways around that. Let's be real.
Yeah. So, but
he had every right to go up to his mom and go, no, you're being a bitch. Yeah. I love her and I'm going to marry her.
Yeah, for sure. I love seeing that.
And they did get to the point where they're like, if you walk away, you don't get any of the family stuff. And he called their bluff, basically.
Yeah. And it usually is a bluff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Asian families are very... They'll say they disown you, but it was like, have you seen The Big Sick?
No, but I have heard of it.
He wants to... He gets with his current wife, who's a white woman and not, Indian, like he is, and so his mom, that you're not my son, but she still shows up and sends him off with his favorite dish, and so it's an Asian thing.
I actually finished reading the Scott Pilgrim graphic novels
once or twice.
Oh.
Scott Pilgrim?
Have you seen Scott Pilgrim?
I have.
Okay, so the books are a lot different. Mm-hmm. Hot take for everybody out there: I believe the movie is better, like wholeheartedly. Wow. Which is odd, but there is a moment where Knives' dad goes out and hunts Scott because some older white man is trying to take his Asian daughter, and just like put dishonor on the family from the words of the book, not from me, from the book itself, and then watches Scott fight one of the exes who is also fighting the dad, and sees that he's skilled with the sword and went, he's all right. Yeah, he's an all right white guy.
Yeah, if you can tap into Asian culture in one or two ways, you can get the pass from the parents.
God, I'm so glad you're here, Jarvis, because I can't say these things. I can't say these things without getting in trouble. I can barely say
them. Like I said, I kind of come off as Mexican.
I'm sure I got some Asian in me somewhere. We can do 23andMe just to see what we can get away with.
We'll have to.
Would you recommend this movie, Jarvis?
Yes, I would recommend this movie.
I feel like it does more culturally than it does in the romantic side of it.
Yes,
as well.
I would also agree with that statement. But I think it's definitely it's a good watch. And look, when it comes to movies or any medium that I really like something that has some core important message, values, and things that you can take from the movie. If you can take something good that goes in here and in here, I think that helps me be like, yes, I like this movie. And that's why I don't know if I mentioned, which we need to do at some point, which I'm sure we will because there's tons of them, but like Adam Sandler movies. I like them. They're kind of
The
weird.
Wedding Singer?
They're kind of weird, but like he always has something so good at the core that it allows me emotionally to latch onto something with it.
I'd say the same about some Jim Carrey movies. There's a lot of
so good.
90s comedians that
Jim Carrey's so good.
that play really solid, serious pieces. They're so good.
We're gonna get there, but let's get back to Crazy Rich Asians. So Rachel is our main character. She's a female.
Yeah.
Protagonist,
yeah.
She's the main. I guess the main one.
Yeah.
And then it's about her and her relationship with Henry Golding's character, the crazy rich Asian who, I guess her family is worth, so much, billions of dollars.
His name is Nick Young.
And you know what? They show this. So if you haven't seen this, obviously, you should know by now. Spoilers, but they show her that they're rich by she goes to a hotel. They basically turn her away because she's Asian.
Yeah.
And it's raining, and they're like, "Look, this is such an exclusive, high, prestigious hotel.
Yeah,
and
we don't have any rooms.
You're not worthy to be here, so you need to go. There's another one down the road." She calls her husband, and then she comes back, and they're like, "Hey, look, you really need to leave." owner of the hotel comes down and says, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah,
so
take my
much.
penthouse suite.
Yeah, and then so the people who were being rude at the front, they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" And they're like, "Well, this is the new owner of the hotel," and they're just kind of their jaws are on the floor, and
Yeah.
she's like, kind of gives them a like, "Yeah, I'm your boss now." So
Yeah.
And so they feel embarrassed, but that just goes to show like the levels of wealth that they're dealing with. And then I think we go to
Don't lie though. You've always wanted to do that somewhere that they've been rude to you. You're like, man, if I could buy this place right now, I'd do it.
I mean,
I'd do it and you'd be out.
That. If you've ever been to in any,
I did that at Taco Cabana yesterday.
I would buy
so I'd buy this place and I'd tell you that you can't treat me like that.
Oh man, yeah, I was about to say any place where there's customer service. Yeah, I think that's also everybody can relate to that. But yeah, so Rachel's just a normal, average,
Yeah, dating a dude in New York.
She's just dating.
She's a college professor.
Yeah, which is cool, which is really great.
She teaches statistics, but specifically for games.
Yeah.
I think that's what her
which is
it's a cool degree.
Yeah, that's a great. I was like, that's a cool job.
Cool.
I think we would consider that very successful. You know what I'm saying?
I bet you she could play blackjack like no one's business.
Oh man, watch out!
Talk about crazy rich, right?
Yeah, she could
take her 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Get kicked out of every casino in Vegas.
So and then
so
unbeknownst to her.
Yeah, Nick is like, hey, we're going to go to Singapore for my friend's wedding. And she's like, oh, yeah, that sounds fine. And as, like, they're talking about it, word gets around through the I guess, the Singaporean Asian mafia.
It's the
rich mafia.
The Asian News Network.
Yeah. And they just, like, start they don't message each other. They use WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Just to...
And they're just like, oh,
get around, say everybody.
Him.
Like, who's Rachel Chu?
Yeah, we spotted him in public. Who's he with? Who is this girl?
She's bringing him back home. She's going to meet the family. And then his mom calls him as they're talking about it. Yeah. It's like, who's this girl you're bringing home?
Yeah, like, as you're watching, you're like, oh, man, like, where's he getting around? That's crazy. Like,
and it feels like it's taken a while, but it's like 12 seconds.
Yeah, like, literally, they finish talking.
They're also Christian, which is crazy to me for some reason.
Why is that crazy to you?
Because I don't view Christianity as like a super rich culture. Like to me, it feels a little less fundamental. Yes. And so just being like in an Asian country where everything's predominantly Buddhist and Islam and Hindu.
Well, let me say this as also an Asian who
was Christian.
Yeah. The judgmentalness and the superiority accurately portrayed.
You know what? You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. So it fits extremely well with
just to be clear for everybody watching, we are both Christian.
Yeah.
we're shitting on our own religion on purpose because it's not the religion, it's the culture around it.
I wouldn't say shitting on it. I would say accurately describing it.
We're not insulting it. We're just describing it.
Yeah, we're just telling it like it is. That's what we do here on Full Movie Fans. We're just.
They said we needed more controversial hot takes, and so here we are talking about Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, so if you're a Christian,
delving into religion now,
I guess you should know. But if you're upset by what we said,
probably look at yourself.
Yeah. So they're literally,
but they are doing that.
Group when she gets the news,
and then she breaks out to go be judgmental to her son.
Yeah. So I said,
she even says like, "Well, your room's ready. I don't know if we're gonna have enough space for her. We haven't had everything cleaned up." And he said, "Oh no, we're getting a hotel." And she's like, "Okay."
Yeah, dude, they've got so much money. Like they could probably have a construction crew build an extra room onto their house. Yeah, in the amount of time it would take them to get there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a lame excuse, but so already she still doesn't know at this point that he's like one of the richest people in the world.
No, because he always is like sneaking food off of her plate and eating her desserts and stuff.
Yeah,
because he's doing the thing that I think is reasonable if you're very affluent and single, is to not let on that you have a lot of money so that you can get somebody who actually cares about you and somebody who just wants your money. That's true. I feel like he did good, and that was a reasonable thing to do.
But at the same time,
but then it just jumps
at the
so
same
quickly.
time, you don't shock your significant other.
No, you do not.
Like on a first class flight.
Yeah. That conversation should have at the bar should have been, hey, by the way, just so you know, I know that like here I'm a certain way, but my family is like stupid rich.
He should have
like we're gonna fly on a private jet, first class, in like a suite.
Didn't he say something about
that their friends they have business with the airlines, so they got the tickets for free.
That's right.
Which is nuts because those kinds of tickets I've looked them up before just for fun. They're like $15,000.
That's crazy, dude. I just want to have enough money to fly first class, bro. To be honest with you, have a little bit wider
just once,
seat.
yeah.
You know, get served the drinks first. You know, I'm not asking for much.
Private bathroom.
You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so
that's what she thought was going on. She's like, why do we have such expensive seats? We can't afford this. And he's like, don't worry about it. Family's got business with the airlines. Still doesn't tell her what's going on at all, which I still think is insane. And then they get there, and Nick starts telling her some things on the way, like his family has some money. Doesn't make it how much.
Hardcore downplay.
Yeah, Rachel doesn't actually know how much money they have until they get to Singapore, and she meets up with one of her college friends who's like, "You're dating Nick Young?"
Who they apparently are super rich.
Yeah, well, apparently every Asian family in Singapore is a bajillionaire, which is a problem. I don't know. It sounds accurate. I know a client in Singapore, and he makes some money, so I would assume. Let's just, broad assumption, everyone in Singapore is rich. Filthy rich. That's... If that gets me canceled, I don't know, man. Cancel me, I guess. Is that a hot take? Should I take it back? Anyways, so...
No, don't take it back.
They go nuts, and they're like, you can't wear that to their house. That's crazy. You're going to get
and then there's
alive.
the clothes.
There's a few of them. There's a few of them in the movie.
The sprucing up, I guess that's in every...
Yeah.
Trying on the
Aquafina is her friend from college, because, you can't have a movie about Asian people without Aquafina.
They all recycle the same ones. I mean...
There's only like 12 Asians in Hollywood.
Yeah, half of the Asians in Crazy Rich Asians is in Shang-Chi as well.
Yeah.
So
it's the exact same cast, just flipped around a little bit.
Yeah. So
same with
Everything
Everywhere All at Once. Except that's not like an Asian movie. It's
I mean Michelle Yeoh and Stephanie Hsu are both in Shang-Chi. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So Hollywood has their favorites.
Yeah.
Surprise. They end up going to the plot is very loose. Just to be clear, we're not like rushing through it to rush through it. It's just the plot points it's a lot of dialogue, and it's a lot of like, oh my god, they're rich. That's so crazy. How are you gonna deal with this? So they get to Nick's family home where they're having a massive party.
I think you mean mansion, family mansion. Home sounds
family resort.
Yeah, seriously.
Like in the woods through like multiple private gates with armed guards on a mountain. They've got hundreds and hundreds of people just crammed into this house. Not even crammed. Crammed is a bad word for it.
Yeah, crammed to make it sound like it's small. Yeah.
There's like a bar in the house. Private like industrial kitchen.
Yeah.
It's all the crazy things that you could ever imagine. Imagine like what you think you would want if you had $1 billion as a dream home, and then amplify that by like 4 or 5 times to where you wouldn't really want it anymore, and that's the house they're in.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. I don't know if that's how you feel about it.
I can.
How do you get anywhere? How do you get anywhere in that house?
Jeez, I guess you just have the little hoverboard, and you just hoverboard everywhere.
Oh, perfect. That's a great idea.
So you don't have to walk because you're rich. You know
There's actually, you could probably ask one of the people that work at the house to just carry you around.
They probably
so that you don't tire yourself out.
For the right amount of money, I would carry someone around. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not above that.
So if that's my whole job, yeah, I'll carry somebody every day.
Need to work out more anyway, so
perfect.
Works out.
So they go to this party, and Rachel's being introduced to everybody, and at some point, she kind of gets the air that like people are kind of looking at her.
Yeah,
and she's
starting to understand the gravity of the situation she's in now.
Right, it's not just she has to go make an impression on the mom and the grandmother. She has to make an impression on literally everybody.
Yeah, all of Singapore.
And then we meet. I'm trying to find his name because I can't remember his name. Oliver.
Yeah.
And Oliver's like, oh yeah, everyone's staring at you because you're the talk of the party. Everyone knows everything about you already and are hyper judgmental about you, but not me because I love you and everybody else here judges me. So who cares?
Yeah.
So we love Oliver.
We do.
Oliver can stay.
Yeah.
Oliver's invited to the cookout.
Yeah.
And Nick has like an initial interaction with his mom, and his mom's like, we thought you were gonna come here and be home like 2 years ago, and everyone's upset that you didn't.
Oh yeah, because he was supposed to like
come like take over the company
family business and stuff like that, and he was just like, no, I like pretending poor and meeting normal people.
Yeah,
and hanging around them. Very
fair of him. It seems like a little much, to be honest.
Way cooler.
Yeah, you're true. We are way cooler. If any rich people want to drop their billions and billions of dollars to come hang out with us, let us know.
Yeah, that's how much we charge these days.
Yeah.
Like,
well, money's an object, right? So like $70,000-$80,000.
You won't even miss it. You won't even miss it.
You won't even think about it. So yeah.
It's a tax write-off.
Rachel gets the idea that Nick's mom doesn't like her. It's whatever. She meets the grandmother. Grandma's like,
dude,
thank you for being with my son. Bring him home. Keep him here.
Yeah, and can I say this? Like, when you say that she starts to get an idea, it's one of those things where it's subtle, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like, in the moment.
Oh, yeah, you could see it for sure.
In the moment, like, putting myself in Rachel's shoes, but larger so I can fit into them. Because my feet are also larger than her feet. Her bigger shoes. Yeah, her bigger shoes. I could see in the moment how she would miss it.
Yeah.
If she wasn't looking for it, because I think that being an American, that's one of those things. It's just kind of like, yes, we had the in-laws, but it's. I think you could. She would miss it. Us as just watching the movie, know immediately like, yeah, this.
Yeah.
Her. I mean, she's not. She's not down with this.
But she did walk away from the conversation going, she hates me.
That's true.
It's like she had a conversation and it felt like it went well. She was like, yeah, my mom raised me and let me follow my passion, and now I'm a professor. Yeah. And she's like, oh, well, that's interesting that, she would let you follow your passion. How American of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have those deals here.
And I don't know if this is every mom, if you are... whatever ethnicity you are, let us know if there's like stereotypes when it comes to mothers in your ethnicity. But
yeah, moms do be moms.
Asian mothers are very judgmental. They're very. I mean, if they don't like something about how you look or the way you do things, they will just say it to your face.
Yeah.
I once asked my mom, I was like, "I'm pretty good looking, right?" And she said, "You're average." I was like, "Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it."
Ouch. To be fair, I feel like my mom's kind of the same way. And I would say sorry, but she's never going to watch this, so...
Yeah, my mom either.
Yeah, no, my mom can be a bit judgmental. She did it today, where I was like, hey, I think we're going to do this. And she's like, are you sure? Because, like, only, like, successful people do this. And I was like, oh, okay. I understand. I see how you feel, Mom.
Classic moms, am I right?
I know.
Especially Nick's mom, who is extremely judgmental.
Well, Nick's mom isn't average. That's Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, that's Michelle Yeoh. She's above average, but her character in this movie is average for being judgmental as an Asian woman.
She's very
accurately portrayed.
Yeah.
So
it's even worse when we get a little background about her, that she was also judged when she was being married into the family.
Isn't that crazy how people don't learn lessons,
right?
And they're like, "Oh, you know what? I felt this negativity once. Let me not do that to someone else."
I feel like it's very par for the course, Yeah, where it's like, that's also where we get into other generational problems, which is what this movie talks about too. Yes. It's how Nick's mom, Eleanor, was ostracized by the family, basically being told that she was never going to be good enough. She'd never be able to take control of the family. And I feel like it happens a lot where people get judged by their family, and then when it's their turn to like give the opportunity to somebody else, they also beat them down because they're not good enough.
Yep.
Or they're not good enough, instead of being like, hey, I was told I wasn't good enough and look where I am. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you definitely see that from the grandmother because she still does that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what makes you feel a little bit, you're like, oh, poor Eleanor. Like,
I don't feel bad for her. She's a grown-ass woman.
Well, yeah.
She should know better.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like in that moment where she's getting ridiculed by the grandmother, you're like, oh, no. But
no,
then,
the only person I feel bad about in this movie
like
is Astrid.
Yeah, you it goes way very
Astrid is a victim.
Oh, man. Let's talk about Astrid a little bit.
I love Astrid. She's like the best person in the entire movie.
Yeah, and she is also one of the Asians that gets reused in Hollywood a lot.
Gemma Chan.
yeah. I think wasn't she in Game of Thrones or something like that?
I can look for you
or something. I know that she's been in the Marvel movies a few times. She plays Cersei in the Eternals, and she also played another character.
She was also in The Boy and the Heron.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah, and so,
she's Cersei in the Eternals.
Yeah. She was also, I think,
she's in
Guardians
Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she's very attractive. She's very elegant. She plays the part extremely well. Like, you 100% believe that she's just, like, a rich, like, elegant woman, like, who just lives
like
life.
She belongs there.
Yeah.
In, like, the best ways.
Right. And so...
She's what everyone should aspire to be.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you see her as well, like, they also let you know, like, money is not an option for like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Because she's at the jeweler and she's looking at these earrings.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, if you just wear these, that'll boost my business so you can have them at cost.
Yeah.
And he's like 1.2 million or something like that.
She's like, great, thanks.
She's like, yeah, I'll take them.
Yeah.
And so it's just
there's a lot of side characters to this story that we're not digging deeper into just because it's not super relevant to the main story.
Yeah.
But they're there to explain the like different social structures.
Yeah, and she's part of the main family. That's Nick's sister, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Thank you. Cousin.
Oh, yes.
Our producer is saying.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. She loves the movie and she knows more about it than either of us. She should be up here, actually.
It's true, actually. She's seen it like 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah, so she knows it better than us.
And read the book, I think.
Oh, yeah.
She did.
She was talking about the books, yes. So, but Astrid, so her situation is, I think it's, to me, extremely interesting. I think it's, honestly, I'm more interested in Astrid's, like, situation than actually like Rachel's, because
I agree. But Astrid's situation is supposed to show what the bad side of what Nick and Rachel's relationship could be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like a cautionary, like this is why they're worried about it.
That's a very astute observation that I didn't think of until you said.
But now that you see it,
that I see it,
it's like yeah.
Very, very accurate.
Yeah, that's what all of the different characters are, is to show you why certain social cliques are concerned about Rachel being a part of the family.
Right. And so Astrid's situation, just to say what it is so she goes home from this big shopping spree and they're hiding all the stuff that she bought. Mm-hmm. And she does that because I think it's just that it's a thoughtfulness of like, I do not want to make my husband feel unimportant by the amounts of money that I spend.
Yeah.
So I get that. I think that's very thoughtful. I get it.
That's what I got as well. And there's actually an answer in the books that our lovely producer told me about before we started recording.
Okay.
Do you want to know it? So,
please, by all means.
So in the book, it was stated very directly that the reason why she started hiding those things is because he said that he doesn't want to see them. He doesn't want her wearing them.
Yeah.
But it's like part of her job and a part of her lifestyle to have those things and show them off. So she has to.
Yeah.
And so that's why she started hiding them. It wasn't because she was being thoughtful. It's because he was being a whiny little bitch about it.
Yeah, which he is. And
which he is.
And he literally is the dumbest person in the entire movie.
Absolutely. Unsympathetic. And I don't know. Is it the same way in the books? Is he a little more He's an ass the whole time? Okay. So he's just an ass.
Yeah, he's just
I was hoping we'd be like, you can see how he feels,
he's just a big dumb doo-doo head.
Yeah,
and like,
big stupid dummy.
Yeah, because...
How do you cheat on Astrid?
Dude, okay, first off, she's gorgeous, she's rich.
How do you cheat on that?
I mean, for most guys, that's like what more would you... Right. What could you ask for? And he's also very successful. Isn't he like... He's like high up in the freaking company, so he was. I
think he was in the military, and then he was high ranked in the military, and then Astrid gave him some money for a startup, and then and then he opened up a business.
Okay, so he has.
I believe that's what the story is.
And the thing is,
the confirmation. I love the live confirmation.
Yes,
I feel like the Joe Rogan podcast where he goes, "Hey, can you just look this up real quick?" And
hey, Jamie, can you pull up the video of the bear attacking the wolves?
Yeah,
because
and then we can't see it, but they can see it. Yeah, it's great.
So basically, her husband is just got a massive inferiority complex and just feels so emasculated by his successful, beautiful wife that he feels the need to cheat on her.
Yeah.
So that he can feel like a man. You know what I'm saying? What an idiot.
Dude, I've said it so many times, and I'll say it so many more. If my wife made an absurd amount of money, I'd wake up every morning, put on a maid outfit, and go, "Yes, ma'am, whatever you need."
I know, right? She'd have yogurts and granola bars with fruit accents in bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And she would not be woken up anytime before 11:30 in the morning. You know,
she'd be woken up to like
exactly the life she wants.
Harp music and like Cinderella. Like,
oh no, she's a little bit more simple than that. It's very much. Pancakes. And then she's happy as a clam. That's exactly it. She likes to be woken up.
Yeah. I mean, if Astrid wasn't so rich, I feel like she'd be a very simple woman.
Yeah, she'd also just be woken up to do pancakes.
Yeah. But anyways, this is not Astrid's story.
Where's Astrid's movie?
I know.
That's what I want to see. But yeah, so they go on the Bachelor and Bachelorette party weekends. On Nick's side, it's just some crazy fucking middle of the unclaimed ocean party full of debauchery, and so they leave and go like rafting. The two bros, where Nick's like, "I'm gonna propose to Rachel on the trip," and on Rachel's end, Rachel goes to this private island resort party where the girls bully her and put fish in her bed and call her a whore.
Put a fish carcass in her room, spread blood on the freaking walls.
Yeah.
And so,
like some actual psychopath stuff.
So Nick and Rachel have extremely opposite,
very different times
with their friends and wedding parties, etc.
But Rachel decides like to tough it out, and she's like, "No, this is crazy, and I don't want to be a part of it." But Nick is like, "But I love you, and and if you let me know that these things happen, I will." Take care of it. Like that, you should not have to be treated like this.
To be honest with you, can I be honest with you? Can I speak freely?
Maybe. Depends on what you say.
I felt like Nick's reaction was a little bit. It didn't match the situation. I would have been.
Yeah, he was very like, girls be girls.
I know, right? I would have been like, excuse me, who did what? And I was like, dude, it would have been on warpath.
Give me names.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the amount of trauma that you just inflicted on the person,
especially in the status that he is.
Dude,
they've been like, "Oh, look who all just got uninvited from this wedding."
Yeah, dude, uninvited from
an entire new bridal party. Absolutely,
uninvited from every party that's ever going to happen in Singapore from here on out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, just blacklisted.
Just
you know what
gone.
I'm saying?
I agree. A little lackluster from Nick's.
Yeah, I was like, bro, like you are being way too chill about what just happened.
Yeah.
So,
and then they go to making dumplings with the family.
Oh, that's so cute.
And this is where Michelle Yeoh, It was way prior. Okay, well, this is still an important thing to hit. Is that they go and make dumplings with the family, and Michelle Yeoh basically pulls Rachel aside. And she goes, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I've been treating you like a bitch. It's because also, you're not worth it."
Yeah, but also, you'll never be good enough.
I just want you to know, my son says he loves you, but he's wrong. It's basically like the whole conversation.
Yeah.
And so all of these things like really kick Rachel down, and she's like, "I don't know if I even want to be a part of this anymore. This kind of sucks. The family kind of sucks."
It's the lifestyle that she's not used to. The people and their judgment, the mom, and all the like her wedding, the little.
Yeah, it's just everybody's being.
It's literally all just one thing after the other that's wearing down on her.
Yeah,
and slowly just crushing her soul. You know what I'm saying?
But her college roommate Aquafina and Oliver go, "No, bitch, you're going to get the best outfit for this. You are going to absolutely kill.
You're going to steal the show.
Yeah,
you're going to be,
and everyone's going to be jealous, and because you are Nick Young's girlfriend." And they should be jealous.
They already are, but I mean,
yeah, for sure.
But they're gonna be even more.
Yeah,
even more.
And so she gets this outfit, which actually looks great. It's a great outfit.
Yeah.
And rolls up to the wedding.
Yeah.
Showstopper, walks out. The girls that were mean to her, she just kind of like bumps shoulders past.
Well, I mean, she starts getting all the attention as soon as she gets out, all of the photographers and all that stuff.
Yeah. She walks up to Michelle Yeoh and gives her that like Michelle Yeoh goes, "Oh, well, there's no more spots in our section." And she's like, "Didn't want it anyway." Walks past. They see some really affluent
very important
woman. I don't remember what she does.
Literally a princess.
Oh, she's a princess. She is a princess who's very smart. That's how affluent she is. And everyone was like, she requested an entire row to herself. No one can sit with her. And Rachel walks up and she goes, "Hey, that paper that you wrote that everyone said they hated, I loved it. You're so smart." And she was like, "You can sit with me."
She literally makes besties.
Yeah.
With the one person.
Yeah.
That would make
exactly
all the other rich people there feel like, oh well, that's a different level above them. You know, what
actual showstopper.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So they were like,
yeah,
when she did that,
I think they were a little bit like what's the word I'm looking for? The audacity of Rachel to talk to her.
Right.
But yet she's like...
And they were just hanging.
Yeah.
Which was great. And then Nick was getting a little, like, worked up, worried about Rachel. And and the groom, his best friend, was like, "I think she's fine."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, okay, everything's good. Everything's fine."
We're talking to the princess of...
Of whatever.
Whatever.
Wherever. Yeah, and the wedding's beautiful, whatever.
Beautiful is an understatement.
And then they have the after party, and a lot goes down in the after party.
As things usually do. After parties, things usually go down.
I have a running theory, and it's reigned true so far, is that at every wedding, at least one couple breaks up. Oh. It might not be at the wedding, but it's like around the wedding. At least one.
What a downer, bro.
So, if you love your relationship...
Way to bring us down, bro.
If you love your relationship, you're invited to a wedding, maybe don't show up if you're not married already. If you are, totally safe. Go to a wedding, have fun. But if you, like, love where you are in your relationship, maybe just, like, hey, I'm busy that weekend, Because it's reigned true. This movie also shows it, is that the... Michelle Yeoh hired a private investigator to look into Rachel's family and said that because her mom left her dad or something, that it'd be a disgrace to the family for her to be a part of theirs or some shit. Which, yes, I know. I see the look on your face. I'm going to get into it in the next part about the important thing that's not that's in the book that's not in the movie. So stick around for that one, y'all.
He's talking to Sybil, not the audience.
Yeah.
He's not talking to you guys.
I'm talking to Sybil, but also the audience. Stick around.
But yeah.
And so, and then Rachel's like, "Why the fuck would you hire a private investigator against me? That's actually insane." And Nick is also like, "Yeah, why would you do that? That is actually insane." And his mom's like, "Well, if you chase after her, you're out of family." And he goes, "Oh, okay," and then leaves Mom. Anyway.
Bye. And the grandma's throwing a fit too.
Yeah, the grandma's throwing a fit too, because the grandma was being nice to Rachel before, but I guess.
But it was for the same reason. She was like, "This is just
it's a silly little whatever,
girl. That's not
no reason.
That's not his
young
wife.
love, whatever."
Yeah.
So Nick runs off. Rachel's obviously upset. I think I'm also skipping over the original proposal part, but I think this happens after the wedding. Yeah, and so Nick finds her and is like, "I want to be with you forever." And then then we don't get to see what her answer was, but we do get to see what her answer was.
Yeah.
Because she said no, and so she invites Michelle Yeoh to go play a game of mahjong and talk about how she actually loves herself, and there's nothing that Michelle Yeoh can say to make her feel otherwise. And she turned her son down, and big game move, big boss move, where she goes, "And I want you to know, when he finds the girl that he marries, and you have your grandkids running around, and you have such a happy life, just know that I gave that to you."
Yeah, that was all me. Because
baller move.
Yeah, and not only that, but like as they're playing,
she basically plays to Michelle Yeoh's hand.
Well, yeah, Eleanor flips over things like,
I won.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
And then Rachel says, just know
After
I
she
gave
says
you
something.
everything.
Yeah. Boom. And then she wins, gets up. And not only that, as she's walking out, her mom was already there sitting at another table.
Yeah.
She gets up, looks at her with, appropriate amount of judgment and disgust.
Yeah.
And then leaves with her daughter. And it's such a
Best scene of the movie, for sure.
Yeah. It's that feeling when justice is served.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Eleanor was like,
knocked her down a couple pegs.
I feel like I messed up here.
Yes.
She did, absolutely.
The consequences of her actions were finally made clear to her.
And then Rachel and her mom go home.
They try to. They're getting on a plane.
But then Nick shows up.
But Nick!
He shows up.
The romantic guy.
And pushes his way through the crowds on the massive airplane.
In slow motion.
Proposes on the plane, and Rachel's like, I'm not going to say yes. And then he opens up the ring box, and it's his mom's ring. He got the approval. So she says yes. And then they come back, and everybody's not judging her anymore, and they have a big party. Which I think is stupid.
So realistic.
I've said it multiple times. Like, why? Why are they all pretending like they're all good friends now? Half of these women put a dead fish in her hotel room and smeared blood all over the walls.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be cool with anybody after that.
True that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things to say about this movie. One of the really cool things is that something that was said in the book that was not said in the movie is that Rachel's family history actually has like an important bit of history to it. So they were all judging her for being poor.
Yeah.
Her dad, her biological father, filthy fucking rich. Like more than the Youngs.
That seems like such a Asian thing to do.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
It gives me it's giving me Naruto vibes in the sense of like, you know what I'm saying?
Explain where Naruto just has perfect lineage.
So anybody who is an anime fan like we are, which that might be a different channel later on, is
you guys
Naruto
like Attack on Titan? I don't.
Naruto is portrayed and introduced as this nobody kid, like nobody likes him. Like
doesn't have a family.
It's supposed to be a story of like
he's kind of cursed.
But he's so strong.
He's rising up from the ashes
through the will of.
But he actually had a perfect lineage.
Yeah, his dad
was the Hokage,
and his mom had like a clan that was.
It was
like
a princess,
the greatest
basically.
Chakra, like and so it turns out that really, Rock Lee should be the one for that story. Of like
for sure
who has to just work hard to be as good as everybody else.
Drop the ankle weights.
Exactly. So that's such an Asian thing. Oh, well, actually, she is.
Yeah, so Rachel dropped her ankle weights and learned that her dad is filthy rich. Which I don't know exactly how it's brought through, but it's basically that's the whole point is that her biological father owns a massive company that's much more affluent than Nick's family.
Which is crazy to think about because Nick's family is insanely rich.
Yeah.
Crazy rich as the movie title
Crazy rich.
Yeah, so
I've basically blown all of my cool facts already. So if you want to add some more
cool facts, I mean,
or whatever.
I mean, I don't know, man. Cool facts.
You said it was culturally impactful.
I mean, yeah, it made a big deal for Asians. I mean, like you said, Kiki Kwan, who, I mean, Academy Award-winning actor, Asian actor, Kiki Kwan, had said that Crazy Rich Asians made a huge impact on him, and he, for the first time, felt like Hollywood was accepting Asians in that he could now pursue his dreams the way he wanted.
Yeah.
And it kind of pushed him towards going and saying like, hey, let me see if I can get into acting now.
I don't like saying that Hollywood's finally like seeing other people because I don't like Hollywood. I like that more people have been given opportunities to tell more stories.
It's literally peer pressure.
Which is fine. If that's the case, great.
If that's how
peer pressure, the big wigs.
If that's how people of color get representation and
I don't like this.
Like
I don't like pandering. Pandering's stupid.
Yeah.
If it's good, like this, it's good and it's important. Like Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Like all of his movies are phenomenal. Phenomenal movies.
We're gonna have to do one soon.
Oh, for sure. And those aren't pandering.
No, not at all. dude, it's so hard to see a movie and be like, wow, this is really original.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm
They
saying? Like,
are.
I've not seen anything like this.
And they are.
Yeah.
They do
good.
take so the thing with art in general is that everything is always taken from something else and
Yes,
influenced
of
off of other
course.
things. Like every single Quentin Tarantino movie is made because grindhouse movies exist.
Bring it
Do you
back
know-
to the beginning when we talked about being Christians and stuff in the Christianity in the movie. The Bible says that there's nothing new under the sun. So
Yeah. So everything you do is
everything is
influenced
reused
by
and
something
recycled.
else, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like taking inspiration from other things is important. You know what grindhouse movies are?
I don't feel comfortable saying that on the internet. That I know what grindhouse movies are.
So grindhouse movies are a genre of gore and horror
Yeah.
where it's like 98% gore. Like people are just being killed in the most brutal ways possible. Quentin Tarantino loves grindhouse movies.
I would.
You
say
can tell.
I would say that I'm not a fan of grindhouse movies, but
I would also say I'm
the
not a
way
fan of
that
grindhouse movies.
Quentin Tarantino.
Is he marries
yeah.
really good like characters and stories and dialogue into grindhouse movies, and it makes it so like interesting and fun.
I literally watched The Hateful Eight like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
With like introduced the movie to someone. We watched almost 3 hours of it.
That
was good.
one's an interesting one to get somebody into Tarantino with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that if you're talking culturally, this movie it makes sense because it's like it's the same thing Jordan Peele's done. It's the same thing that a lot of people are doing right now. I would say Greta Gerwig's doing it too.
Yeah.
With like the women's voice,
Yeah.
if that's what you want to call it. That feels kind of gross, so I might find something else to refer to that as later.
Yeah.
But like being able to tell stories, like I was saying earlier, is telling stories from somebody else's perspective, so you can see life through somebody else's eyes, while also seeing the journey that they're taking to better themselves.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Take
And
a walk in their appropriately sized shoes.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. $30 million budget for this movie. Do you want to guess how much money it made?
Oh man, dude, didn't it made crazy amounts of money? I think it made
crazy
rich
amounts.
amounts of money.
Yeah,
I mean,
$30 million budget, $240 million
yeah,
gross made. So it's made $210 million.
yeah. Maybe more than that with all the rentals and
Oh, probably, yeah.
Or
I don't,
so, you know
I
what
don't
I'm
know where
saying?
they're getting all of
I
these
had to-
numbers, but
I
I
had to
think it's
rent it,
probably just
yeah.
box office numbers.
yeah. So
I think we also had to rent it. I think we own it too. I'm not sure. Yeah, we own it, which everyone should. I think that. Oh, you know what we should start doing, Jarvis? We should
Yeah.
get a little. We should get a little bookshelf behind us, and every movie that we do, we should put a DVD on.
oh, you know what I was thinking is that we need to make a little chart with everything everywhere all at once at the top.
Oh, and just slide them
and we
in.
slide the movies
Oh,
in
that'd
between
be
them.
so fun.
It's like
That's a great
Top Gear,
idea.
Top Gear, like for their
Yeah, where
lap
they just,
times,
like-
and they just put them on. Oh, the Aston Martin did this, you know.
Yeah.
And then we could just put the movies. At some point, I think
I like
we
this
need to do
idea.
that. Yeah,
I like this idea. We'll add it in.
we'll just rank all the movies.
I'll put it in post.
Yeah, we could do. We could do maybe like a split. Oh, maybe we should talk about this after. But like we
No,
could,
I think we just don't say it while we're recording.
yeah.
And then everybody has to come back to see where they place on the shelf behind us.
Well, we'll figure something out.
As long as it makes sense, because like if they're seeing it backwards, then that's a problem.
There's a lot of cool things we want to do, and if you guys, if you guys support us, like and subscribe, then we want to do more cool things with and for you guys.
Yeah.
For this thing because we enjoy doing this, just hanging out and talking
We
about movies.
may or may not have an actual actor who has been in an actually
Yes.
big budget produced movie that's going to be on streaming platforms soon.
Yes, and once that's the case, we're gonna do an episode about it.
Just know that it's definitely an actor in that movie.
Yes, it is.
One of the actors.
Yes,
and it's
very-
not mine because mine's not on streaming platforms. You see, that's the twist. Mine's not on streaming platforms. You also can't watch it, so don't. Jarvis
So-
can, but I can't.
Yeah. So
Can't either.
So to wrap this up, I mean, we're at that time. I
It's
mean,
about that
everything,
time.
everything, everywhere, all at once. Is definitely. I mean, look, just like any fictional movie, it takes a lot of things from reality, and I think that let's talk about before we end, like the core.
You talking
What's
about
the
everything
core-
everywhere all at once?
Maybe
You went, nah, Crazy Rich Asians. Let's just talk about everything everywhere all at once again.
might as well, right? It's just every movie we should just
Yeah.
end up on.
On a scale of 1 to
Everywhere.
everything everywhere all at once.
Exactly. But like I guess the core thing is like message, maybe you would disagree, but I want to hear your take on that, is that like it is not wrong for you to want and pursue the things that you want. And there's going to be lots of obstacles that try to get in your way. But you have to make that decision for you. Because I think that's what we have to see from a lot of the characters. We see that from Rachel. Mm-hmm. She has to be herself. She's not going to be, you're not going to make her feel bad for like the career that she had and the life she had. She enjoyed her life with her mother. She enjoys the job that she does. And she's not going to make to feel bad for doing that, to be true to herself in that. Nick also had to make those decisions when it comes to choosing Rachel, like potentially leaving his family and potentially leaving the wealth. In order to do that, like in order for him to have the life that he wants, he has to fight against years of tradition, the expectations of his family, which in Asia, dude, in Asian culture, that's huge. To go against the will and traditions of the family and the culture, like that is an extremely high offense. Like I mean, if you remember Mulan, like her ancestors, like you don't want to upset the ancestors, you know what I'm saying? And so they would just roll over in their graves. And so and then also even when we get into Astrid as well, she was not going to apologize for being rich. Like she was just like, and she was just like, look, man, this is your problem. Yeah. Like, not mine.
He even said, like, don't pretend like you're just a victim in this. And she's like, I am.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And, like, so even her, she was just like, look, man, I'm not going to apologize for this. Like, this is your issue to deal with. I have done... And dude, from what we're shown, I mean, no doubt she's not a perfect person, but... Because no such thing exists. But from what we've seen, I'm just like...
Yeah, Astrid's great.
She seems like the type of like
she got money. Takes care of her charity
husband.
Work.
Yeah, she takes care of her husband. Like she does like
basically funded his startup.
Bro, like what more could you want in a significant other? And so, but she was also she took her stand and her self-respect won and said, I don't have to take that from you because I know and I know what I'm worth. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, I don't mean, her net worth, but like her value as a human being with feelings and emotions.
A human being.
And so that's my take. That's the core, I think, that I got from it is that we cannot live to try to please the people around us. And even if you do, if you spend your whole life, if you're a people pleaser and you struggle with this, if you spend your whole life trying to please everybody that you know, you'll end up pleasing nobody and you're just going to be sad and depressed. So identify the things that you want in life and what you want for your life and have a mindset. My mentor when I was in high school said this, and I think this is very good and very true. He said, don't give up what you want most for what you want in a moment. The goals that you have, the things that you want ultimately for yourself, for those around you, don't put things or allow people to put things in the way of you getting to that area of life that you want to be in. Like don't give up the ultimate goal for just one small thing in a moment that could potentially jeopardize that final goal. And I think that is what I see in Rachel, in Nick, and in Astrid. But that's my take. What do you think? What's your...
I have less of a take, more of a question.
Okay.
I have a question for you, Jarvis, that I think that this movie tries to pose and doesn't answer, it just poses the question. Is tradition wrong?
I think tradition can be very good and important and strong. Right or wrong is not, just like most things in the world, is not as simple as right or wrong. Tradition, I think when it's held too tightly, just like almost everything else, that's held too tightly could become an issue, and it could be one of those things that that could jeopardize the final goal. Like, for instance, what I connected with as an Asian person and having an Asian mother like Nick, and all the other Asians, I guess, that exist have Asian mothers, but is that
logistically speaking,
yes, that's factual. That's a fun little fact about
there
Asians.
You go. Fact about Asians.
Yeah,
they're Asian
and they have Asian mothers. And so is that so for instance, my mom is very, very Asian and very Christian, and in she is losing a relationship with me that could be better because she's holding too tightly to traditions and things that she grew up learning that aren't necessarily true, and she's elevated certain things as important over trying to understand me as her son. So she's giving up me, so to speak, for some traditional things. And so it's not a matter, like I said, it's not my answer to you is it's not right or wrong to have tradition. It's just like most things, everything in moderation. Don't hold tradition too tightly because you might lose something more important than that. And so, and I've learned that when it comes to relationships, lost my wife, and reflecting on that, she didn't die. We got divorced. Yeah, I didn't just lose her in the mall or something like
a kid at Target.
Yeah.
In the wrong aisle and she never got found.
Yeah, but what I learned from that is that there were certain things that in our relationship that were very true and very important for me to care about, but were less important than our relationship. And an imbalance in that cost me the relationship.
Okay.
And so I would say that that's the same with this. Tradition held too tightly, just like anything else, will create unnecessary and very dire casualties in things that are important.
So in this case, and I think that this is a very fun question to follow up with.
I like fun.
With tradition, were Rachel and Nick the exception or the rule?
Oh, for sure the exception. I think in real life.
Because I think Eleanor got what she wanted. She wanted somebody that could prove to her that she would be able to take the mantle of the matriarch when she leaves.
Yeah, she wanted to know some. I mean, it's one of those things where the thought is
I think they think that they were the exception, but I think that in the end they ended up being victim to the rule regardless.
Yeah, I do not think that most stories and relationships are as easy as strong as what we saw. There's so much more that is not portrayed in relationships.
Oh well, yeah.
The difficulties, the moments where you just don't even want to talk to the other person, and you're fighting your own pride. Like, we don't see any of that.
Well, this is a movie, not a TV series.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, I mean, I would say that stories that the way that it was portrayed are just a lot. They're less likely than more likely. That's my point, okay. I think. So, but anyways, that's my take.
Well, thanks for joining us on this episode of Jarvis Goes to Therapy. You want
story of my Asian life.
Yeah. You want to give us the outro here?
Yeah, man. Hey guys, dude, seriously, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching. We would dude, I can't tell you how much we would love to have conversations with you in the comments about your takes on the movie. Did you like it? This movie was actually requested by someone who watched our videos and posted. They said, hey, you should do Crazy Rich Asians, and they posted that on our Barbie movie review. So
Crazy Rich Asians,
we did it for you. And so
leave another comment on a video that you want us to make.
Yeah, if you guys want to see us talk about a movie, and obviously we want to interact with you guys. If you guys have some hot takes you want to put in the comments.
If you want us to give us our take on the Disney movie Planes, let us know. Watch Planes in the comments if you want us to watch Planes and make a review on it.
Yeah, I'm not going to link Planes in the comments, but anyways,
but someone might. Someone might. I don't know.
It's out there, and thanks for hanging out with us again. We love doing this, and we hope that you enjoy it as much as we do. So we wish you the best, and we hope your day is everything you dreamed to be and more. Like and subscribe. Pretty please.
Hey, full-time MFers, you like this video? You sure did. If you liked it, maybe you should share it with your friends. Maybe like the video and subscribe.
If we were you, that's what we would do. I mean, if I was watching this,
I'd be all over that.
Like, and I'd hit that share, and then I would hit that subscribe in that order.
Yeah. There's also another video that's popped up. YouTube thinks you like this one, so you should watch that one now.
See you next time.